highway through a skyscraper. This is I mostly chose this one because it'll be a good thumbnail. Open up that link, the Gate Tower building.
All right.
So yeah, zoom in on that image on the right.
That's quite cool.
Just bring that up nice and big. Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Well, it's kind of a complicated story.
Structurally sound, though. That's good. I like that.
Well, I'll talk about the structure first then. The highway doesn't touch the building. Mm-hmm. It's just a hole in the building is perfectly through, and then the highway is supported on either side by beams, and it runs through the entire building without even touching the sides.
Incredible. Where is that? Looks Japan?
Japan.
Yeah, it looks like
Straight
Japan.
up.
There you go.
Which, I mean, Gate Tower building doesn't give a lot away, but that is in Japan. So it's essentially an off-ramp of a highway. For people who are listening to this podcast, it is exactly what we're saying. There is a high-rise building, and through a hole in the high-rise building, there is a large road.
It's not like there's like a smashed hole. Like they've built like a gap. You know, like sometimes you have ornamental sort of empty space. Yeah. It's one of those.
It'd be very Idiocracy if it was just a smashed hole. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh my! This is a good, strong recommendation. Luke Perry plays a man who is sent forward in time like 1,000 years or something, and he is an average man of completely average intelligence, but in the future everyone's become incredibly stupid. So he's the smartest man in the world.
Wow.
And they're doing things like, we need a new highway, so we smashed a hole in a skyscraper. And it's like, and they famously, all the crops are dying in the world because they feed them like their version of Gatorade, which is called, I don't even remember, because it's what plants crave. And they just don't understand that they should be feeding the plants water. Idiocracy is a solid movie recommendation.
Okay.
But that's they wouldn't do it like this. Anyway, so it runs through the 5th to 7th floors of the building. Yeah. So how it came about was the area... Bring it up. I like looking at this thing.
You like the picture?
Yeah, it's a really cool picture. The area was getting redeveloped, and they'd got kind of permission. Well, so I got really confused because I was reading articles about this and reading this Wikipedia page, and it seems like, okay, so a highway was planned, but then the owner didn't want them to build on his land, and they kept pushing and shoving, and they eventually came to some sort of a solution where the building of the highway paid for the land, but then it also seems like the guy still owns it or something. And every article I read, and you know where you read articles and you're like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. So you're like, okay, maybe this is just badly worded. And you read a different article about it and it says exactly the same thing. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so someone was really lazy at some point and they all just copied each other and they all don't understand it. And here we are.
Yes.
Repeating
Doing
the cycle.
Same.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm not going to really look into the Japanese property records of all of this stuff for a bit of entertainment.
Could it be possibly, all right, just making theories here, could it be air rights? Because that, I believe, is how Donald Trump made all his money, wasn't it? No, air rights. So basically,
I understand the concept. So it's like rights above how much above your property you get.
Exactly, or not just above your own property. It can be above a whole area. But in this particular situation, it might be that
how much of the air does he
own. So
I'm sure he owns 7 stories up.
I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe in Japan they are toll motorways as well. So if that's
could he earn some money?
Could he earn a percentage of the money for the air rights for the amount of traffic that goes through? Now,
I can't remember if it's this one. I didn't put it down in my notes, but I think the highway is the tenant, so he would be making money, but not obviously indirectly from the tolls. But it might have also been this Chinese one, which is even cooler, arguably even cooler. Load up that video, second one in the notes.
In the notes, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Here it is.
There it is.
And there you can see the support, so how it doesn't touch the building on the way through.
That's lovely. That's
cool,
very,
right?
very satisfying.
Yeah, and now she goes up an elevator for 20 minutes. So go back to and then load up the second one, which is actually arguably even cooler.
China does cool things like this. I have to say, they do it well.
Dude, yeah. I feel like China and the Middle East, like...
Oh, wow.
Dubai. Oh. So what we're seeing is a very normal size apartment building. You know what, maybe 8 floors? Very ordinary apartment building. And a train is essentially going into it and just driving directly through it.
It's 19 stories. It says there.
So. Oh, is it 19?
There we go, 19. So
Okay, we're only seeing the top few.
okay, this train track runs directly through a 19-story residential building.
Wow, that's high.
I think this one here is part of it.
Oh, you think the background things? Oh yeah, look, okay. I
That's
just
like
thought
a
that was in the
balcony, yeah.
background.
There you
Okay.
But that's quite something.
That's
I
pretty
wouldn't
cool.
I wouldn't want to live next to it, I have to be honest. Although it actually looked like a monorail. So the monorails are like silent.
Yeah, you know how much sound it makes?
0.
No, they say
10.
It's about the same as a dishwasher.
That's alright, isn't it?
So you'd be living there and just sound like a dishwasher's going when the train passes through.